It's the 10th day of the 11th month of the year 2024. How beautiful to welcome you to Iron Port. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Iron Port is brought to you by Gold PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and Finis Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA. Our media partner is the Business and Financial Times BNFT. You can grab yourself the Thursday edition of the BNFT so you can catch up on all that you may be missing on this show. Remember, you can also join us live on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, also at the Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. Remember, you can also get the opportunity to interact with us via our WhatsApp line 05380 37353 0538037353. We will also open the phone lines in the course of the show for you to make some contribution towards the discussion. So just grab your phones and let's get interactive. I'll introduce to you my guests after this break.
Energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back to Iron Port. Again, Iron Port is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Of course, during the week, a lot has happened in the port and the maritime industry. Time now to check out some of those happenings.
Ghana's freight forwarding and trade associations have resumed protest against what they term unfair practices by shipping lines operating in the country. After an initial peaceful protest around the Tema port enclave on September 24, the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Association of Customs House Agents of Ghana, Freight Forwarders Association of Ghana, Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, and Food and Beverages Association of Ghana held a press conference to protest on the same issue last Monday, November 4, 2024. The allied associations aim to end what they call illegitimate fees imposed by shipping lines. Despite a 14-day ultimatum after the September protest, they report that no corrective measures have been taken.
The shipping lines we know have a very strong muzzle. They have flexed these muzzles in the past. They still keep flexing it. But this is our sovereign nation. And for which reason we will expect that the laws of the land will have to be enforced.
The associations argue that these charges violate national laws, urging the Shippers Authority to enforce compliance under the new Ghana Shippers Authority Act 2024.
The shipping line's activities and the way it manifested and the way it hurt us on the ground has not been because of the absence of law. It was not for lack of enactment. It was mainly for lack of enforcement. That is why the assent to the Shippers Authority law, even though gratifying, we will have an open mind to how they prosecute the agenda going forward.
The associations rehashed their demands.
Fridays after 5 p.m., the portals are shut. You see, the point is that all we are saying is that if you want to reap your demurrage, just show up for work. Today, the port works 24/7. If you go to MPS, it's 24/7. Food and Drugs Authority, 24/7. EPA, 24/7. National Security, 24/7. All the entities within the port work 24/7.
They called on the government and authorities to hold shipping lines accountable for these practices. As the year draws to a close, the Ministry of Transport has organized a health walk to promote physical well-being and strengthen camaraderie among its sector agencies. This event also served as a platform to raise public awareness regarding road safety. The health walk, which spanned over 10 kilometers along the Shiashi-Legon Atomic Madina route, supports the road safety campaigns of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority and the National Road Safety Authority, as both organizations mark their 25th anniversary. Other key transport agencies that participated in the health walk include the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Maritime Authority, Aircraft Accident and Investigation and Prevention Bureau, Volta Lake Transport Company, and the Regional Maritime University. The participants engaged road users along the route, sharing essential safety tips to foster a culture of road safety awareness. Engineer David Osafo Donting is the Director General of the National Road Safety Authority.
A few weeks from now, we're going to go to the elections. And then after the elections, we have Christmas also just around the corner. These are not times we call normal times, because if you look at our history, crashes increase during election periods and also during Christmas periods. So we have two serious issues to contend with. We want to take advantage of now through the advocates we have created here. That we shall go out there and create awareness of the risk we take when it happens to road users.
The Chief Director of the Ministry of Transport, Mabel Sego, commended the enthusiasm of the participating agencies and hinted at more sector-focused events before the year ends.
this is not going to be the end. This year, the first quarter, we had a walk. We've had this walk, and I want to assure you that the end of the year, we are going to have a sector party. So please get ready. There is going to be a walk and a get together as well. I will not wait. This is not the time for speeches. I just want to thank you for coming, and also to say that let's respect one another. Let's use this occasion to do more of networking because we need it.
This collaborative health walk reflects the ministry's commitment to fostering a safer and healthier environment for transport sector workers and the general public, highlighting the collective responsibility in ensuring road safety.
The Learning and Development Department of the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority has celebrated the 18th Francophone Week, highlighting the importance of French language proficiency within the organization. This year's theme, Mastering French in a Digital World, Learn, Connect and Speak, emphasized the integration of language learning in today's digital landscape. As part of the event, GPHA launched a French virtual class to support staff in developing French language skills, strengthening communication with the authorities' Francophone partners across the region. The Learning and Development Manager at the Port of Tema, Solomon Sakite Tete, underscored the significance of French proficiency in both the professional and personal lives of GPHA staff, noting its role in building direct, effective pathways with Francophone neighbors.
I urge all of you to make the most of these opportunities. Immerse yourself in the language, rise to the occasion, and follow your newly acquired abilities to serve as a springboard for improved development and comprehension in all of your dealings. We are grateful for our Francophone partners, facilitators, the pioneers of this very French school, for your contribution, your knowledge, enthusiasm for this particular project.
The Transit Manager at the Port of Tema, David Songotu, praised participants' dedication and encouraged them to continue practicing French in their daily interactions, reinforcing language skills over time.
The language itself, you must live in the cultural background of the language. We don't have that opportunity. What do? We create it. And that is why I'm so excited with the cultural display that you've done here. And when you take your phone and you are calling your colleague, please try to say bonjour. Try to say comment tu vas. In other words, speak the little French you know, because language is by practice.
Representing the Director General, GPHA's General Manager of Administration, Kwabena Edu Safo, noted that this year's theme aligns with the authority's commitment to digitalization in learning and communication. He emphasized GPHA's recognition of the critical role French language skills play in fostering seamless collaboration within the sub-region.
This week is a very important occasion for you to celebrate what you learned throughout and the importance of learning French in our space, in our maritime industry. Ghana is surrounded by Francophone countries.
The Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, GPHA, has conducted an intensive tactical swimming and survival skills training for 64 personnel from its Fire and Safety Department. The training covered essential swimming skills, including buoyancy, gliding, flutter kicks, aquatic breathing, and breaststroke, aimed at enhancing the team's water-based rescue capabilities. At a graduation ceremony for the participants, the Learning and Development Manager at the Port of Tema, Solomon Sakite Tete, emphasized that the training equips personnel to perform their duties more effectively within the maritime environment. He encouraged the graduates to apply their newly acquired skills diligently to protect lives and properties in emergencies.
Our fire personnel requires this training in order to be able to handle fires within all the vessels that call at our ports. So this training is very key, especially not just fire and safety department, but for all the operators within the shore who operate within the forefront of our water, the Harbour area. It is important for them to have basic swimming skills and able to be able to deliver. Should unfortunately happen, and somebody find themselves in the water, you'll be able to advance that skills to be able to sustain himself until divers will come to their aid. So that is how critical this particular training is for them.
Impressed by the progress made, the Fire and Safety Manager of the Port of Tema, Assistant Chief Fire Officer Alfred Okine, urged the trainees to reflect their skill in their daily operations, ensuring high standard of safety and preparedness.
They are going to be very effective on the waters because we do other inspections also. The vessel working on the sea, we are called upon. Any emergency on the water, we are called upon. So I think this is going to make them more effective and more confident in the work that they are doing.
A facilitator from Gaidan Health and Fitness Club Limited, Daniel Budu, provided an overview of the various swimming techniques taught, noting their critical role in enhancing operational readiness among GPHA's safety teams.
You realize they were doing the freestyle, they were doing the wedge kick, they were doing the flutter kicks. Now that they can swim, now the rest lies on them. You know, they have to now go and keep polishing, because as long as you keep swimming, you get to know a lot of tricks when you are in the water.
So those were some happenings in the port and the maritime industry. Now time to check out what our phrase of the day, discharge port, discharge port.
Discharge port. Discharge port refers to a port where cargo is unloaded from the vessel.
So that's it there, the phrase of the day, discharge port. And of course, on Iron Port, you know your safety is utmost important to us. So today's safety tip, safety boots or shoes.
Safety boots or shoes. Safety shoes are personal protective equipment for foot protection at workplaces. They prevent foot injuries caused by heavy objects, sharp piercing edges, pinch points, hot objects, splinters, chemicals, and electricity. Proper safety shoes can also help prevent falls due to slippery surfaces and keep the feet warm in cold weather. Safety shoes are also known as safety boots.
Welcome back to Iron Port. Iron Port is brought to you by GOL PLC, the Serene Insurance, and it's powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So the Ghana Oil Company Limited, GOIL, one of our sponsors, the nation's premier oil marketing company, has taken a significant step in enhancing the country's infrastructure development with the establishment of the GOBitumen terminal. Now, strategically, this bitumen terminal is located at Tema for a reason, and it plays a critical role in meeting the growing demand for bitumen, a vital component in road construction and maintenance. So GOIL says that it aims at bridging the supply gap, it aims at reducing reliance on imports, and it wants to provide a reliable source of bitumen for local contractors and road construction projects. How does GOIL intend to achieve this? Well, I've been joined in the studio by two wonderful gentlemen. Engineer Alfonso Okine Jr., he is the Managing Director of GOBitumen Limited, and Anyayuri Adongo is the Terminal Manager of GOBitumen Limited and ABAT. Welcome, gentlemen, to Iron Port. I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let me start with you, Engineer Alfonso Okay. Why bitumen? Why not any other area?
Thank you very much, Aisha. You know, GOIL PLC is an oil marketing company, and it's into the marketing of products like super, diesel, ATK, lubricants, etc. So in 2004, the company decided to add the marketing of bitumen to its product portfolio. So we decided to go that way. Now, how were we going to do this? Our entry strategy was to import the bitumen in specialized containers. We call them bituteners, just bitumen in containers from South Africa. Then we receive them at the port of Tema, and then we distribute it directly to our customers, mainly road contractors.
Okay. And why did you decide to enter into the bitumen market?
Yes, we decided to do that because, you know, bitumen is also a petroleum product.
Okay.
It is refined from crude oil, and then we obtain the bitumen. So if we are dealing in all other products, why don't we add bitumen? Now, we have other companies in the country dealing with bitumen. I mean, oil marketing companies doing bitumen. But we had to take our time, look at the market, and then see the right time to get into the bitumen business. So we decided to enter the bitumen business just to increase our portfolio and then also make sure the company gains a lot in our marketing of bitumen.
Mr. Adongo, I know that it's definitely once you are into fuel and all of that, then you are also on the road. But definitely this won't come as a challenge. I mean, it won't come easily. Definitely there have been some challenges. Do you want to share some of the challenges with us?
Yeah, there have been several challenges. Like he said, at the beginning, we're bringing the product through containers, just like the 40-footer containers, which we call bituteners. Going out there were lots of logistical issues with the use of bituteners. Having to, when you get to the customer site, you need a crane to lift the thing down, and then you need heating. It involved a lot of challenges from the logistics point of view.
Okay. So
we had to think of ways, around that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what led us into our present day situation, where we put up our facility. So that was one of the challenges, the logistic challenge. There were other challenges that I'm sure Alfonso would want to add.
Okay, Engineer, okay.
Yes, some of the challenges we encountered was that, with the big road contractors, once we bring the bituteners to their site, we don't have a lot of challenges because they are able to discharge with cranes, and then we heat the bituteners, and then we transfer into their storage facilities. Now, we have little or smaller contractors scattered all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
When we bring these bitumen containers, we have to take it to all those sites. Now, at specific sites, we don't have cranes to offload the containers before discharging. So we have to heat the bituteners on the low beds, trailers, and then also if their storage facilities are above the level of the trailers, we need to get a pump to pump the product out of the bituteners into their containers. Another challenge was that the contractors will want to use the bituteners as their storage. So, the bituteners come at a cost. So the more you keep them on the site, it attracts some cost. So we realized that those challenges, we need to do away with them and then construct the bitumen plants, and then we will be able to solve those problems.
Definitely there must be a driving force, something that keeps driving you to continue with this. I mean, with all the challenges that you're talking about, what's the driving force?
In 2017, we did a research, and then we came out with the information that the government planned to do 10,000 overlays and new roads within 7 years, 10,000 kilometers. And that will require approximately 200,000 metric tons a year. Then we said, this demand is huge. So we'll definitely have to be in the business to take advantage of this and then serve our customers. So this mainly was our driving force to still be in the business and then serve our contractors.
Let's look at the goals, the outcome that you are looking forward to with the setting up of this bitumen terminal. Mr. Adongo, do you want to handle that for me?
Yeah, basically the goal is to ensure that bitumen is available for road construction, and it is available at the right price also. And then also the right quality. And I'm stressing on the quality because many a times we complain of, that, they constructed a certain road and in less than a year, the road is getting damaged and things like that. Part of it could be the bitumen that was used. It could also be supervision of the work that was done or several other factors. But why don't we eliminate one of those factors? That is by way of providing the quality bitumen. So that once we provide the quality bitumen, at least one of those factors is eliminated.
Okay.
The other goal is to ensure that as much as possible, this industry is controlled by the local people rather than having to have a case where contractors are bringing in their own bitumen. It should be possible for the contractors to obtain the bitumen from the local market. And so that was one driving force that we had. And the goal, as I said, is to ensure that we dominate the market so as to provide quality bitumens and to ensure that there's enough for our roads.
In terms of the construction process, I want you to share some insights with us as to how the whole terminal was built.
Okay. I think let me leave that to Alfonso
engineer.
To start
okay,
with.
He's the engineer here.
Yes. Let me leave that to him.
Thank you.
I'll come in.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, we still did our research work and we realized that, we need to build a terminal to serve our bitumen contractors. Now, how do we do that? First of all, we need to get a land very close to the port. I'll explain why it should be closer to the port.
Okay.
Now, we are going to get a product and it's going to come in vessels. Once the product gets to the port, we have to pump the product through a pipeline into our storage tanks. The distance matters because bitumen, by its nature, it's very, very viscous. So we need to heat the product to temperatures above 140 degrees for it to flow. So we needed to construct a pipeline to our terminal, build storage tanks so that when the vessel comes and then hits the product, we transfer it through the pipelines into our storage facility. This pipeline is not just going to be like the other products, super diesel. We need to also heat the pipelines so that the product will continue to be hot, maintain that temperatures, and then it's discharged into the tanks. Apart from that, we need to transfer the products from tank to tank, have a loading bay, an automated loading facility so that we can guarantee the quantities that is being delivered into the tanks. And then also, we need to also get a generator so that when we go off power, we will be able to still operate. So these are some of the things we considered in constructing the terminal. And then in 2020, we decided to start the construction. God being so good, at the end of 2022, we completed with everything, and then we start operating.
So, what you want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that this process involved a lot because apart from the land acquisition that he talked about,
which should be closer to the
port, for reasons of energy efficiency. Because if you are too far away from the port, then you have to have a lot of pumping to do. That demands more energy.
True.
Apart from that, then they had to go through the contractor selection process, which was very rigorous, to get the right contractor that can construct the terminal to meet international standards. We also involve other contractors that would help us design the plant and provide us with the right equipment. So it really took a lot of time, and as he said, by 2022, all that was done, and then we began the test running of the place. And so far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Well, having understood how the building of the state-of-the-art facility, I mean, all that went into it, I think it's fair to understand the products portfolio and the quality standards that GOBitumen brings on board. So, I mean, let me just ask you this simple question. What is GOBitumen, and how does it actually fit into the broader picture of GOIL's offerings in the bitumen industry?
Thank you very much. GOBitumen is actually a subsidiary of GOIL. So we actually had to get this company going because we want it to be a different entity, but still under the GOIL umbrella. So in the construction process of trying to get people to build a bitumen plant, we encountered a company in La Côte d'Ivoire called Société Multinationale de Bitumen, SMB for short. We talked to them, and they were also interested in coming on board to have this facility built. So we talked to them, and then they also wanted to extend their storage facility from La Côte d'Ivoire to Ghana. Actually, SMB have been supplying the West Coast countries, most of them with bitumen. I'll explain why SMB and not Ghana.
Okay.
You know what? Bitumen is obtained from crude oil, but it isn't all crude oil that yields a lot of bitumen.
Okay.
So this company in La Côte d'Ivoire has a unit in their refinery, and they purchase crude oil that yields a lot of bitumen. They refine it, get a lot of bitumen, and then they serve the West Coast countries. So being on board, we felt was very strategic, so that at least they will have a storage also in Ghana, so that the contractors would not have to go to La Côte d'Ivoire, but then will purchase from our facility and then serve the contractors. Coming together, we formed a joint venture, and we called it African Bitumen Terminal, with Ghana or GOIL having 60% and then SMB having 40%. That is all they wanted to do. But GOIL decided that, look, we are not just going to go into the business of just receiving the bitumen and then selling it directly to road contractors. We want to add value to the products that we receive. So we want to actually go into production of a type of bitumen called polymer modified bitumen and then emulsions.
Okay.
We felt that the polymer modified bitumen is going to be the game changer.
Okay.
Why is that the case? This polymer modified bitumen is actually supposed to address the 3 pavement distress modes in road construction. That is, it's going to address the what we call the temperature differences between low temperature cracking. Then also, it is also going to address fatigue cracking. Then what we call permanent deformation of the roads. It's called rutting. Once these things are eliminated from road construction, we are good to go. So this polymer modified bitumen, we realized that it's going to be the game changer. So that's one. We wanted to do it alone. SMB weren't going to be part. And then also we were going to do bitumen emulsions. Bitumen emulsions and then polymer modified bitumen were going to be the production processes. So that was the reason we decided to form GOBitumen, which will handle the sale of bitumen products as it comes, and then market the polymer modified bitumen and then bitumen emulsion. That was why we created GOBitumen, so that we'll just be another entity of GOIL.
So you've just spoken about the polymer modified bitumen, which you say is the game changer. Is that the only type you have, or you have other types?
Currently, the polymer modified bitumen is what we are going to use to change the business.
Okay.
So that is what we want to use as a game changer.
So you're paying more attention to that. Okay, and the source of your GOBitumen is, what's the source? Where does GO source its bitumen?
Okay, GOIL source its bitumen from, that is the base bitumen from SMB, like I mentioned.
You mentioned, okay.
So they produce two quality bitumen that is actually specified by the Ghana Highway Authority. We call it AC10 and AC20. Used in a road construction, everybody uses that. But once we receive these two grades of bitumen, then we go further to produce the polymer modified bitumen, adding value to the AC10 and then the AC20. And then we also go on to do bitumen emulsions.
In terms of refinement, does any of the processes happen in Ghana, like adding value to what you already have from Côte d'Ivoire?
Yes, there are two aspects of the bitumen refining. Sorry. The first is the raw bitumen that comes from Côte d'Ivoire, which is done through the main refining process. Then we have the second process, which he talked about, that GOIL decided to go into in order to enhance the quality of the bitumen. So the PMB is processed right here at our facility.
Okay.
What is the PMB? It's an addition of what we call polymers. Polymers, in the layman's sense, is like plastic, rubber, what do you call latex. So we have the polymers, different types of polymers. We have chosen to go with one of the best, in fact, the best type of polymer in the market. Technically, they call it the SBS polymer. That is what we use. So we add that polymer to the bitumen. We mill it, so it passes through a mill. So we mill it until it gets to a very fine consistency texture. Then we take it through our laboratory. We run various laboratory tests on the bitumen to ensure that, one, to look at how it behaves long term. Look at how it will behave short term.
Okay.
How it will behave with heavy loads bearing situations. How it will behave under very high and very low temperatures. All those analyses are done.
Okay.
And after that, when we are satisfied that it meets international standards, then we release it to the market.
Okay.
So that is the polymer. And we have 3 grades of the polymer that we produce here. I wouldn't want to bore you with the technical names of the bitumen, but we have 3 grades of them.
Okay.
Then we also have the emulsions. Now, emulsion, just for the layperson, the paints that we use in our buildings,
yes,
what that we call emulsion paint.
Yeah.
That is it. It is just a mixture of water with the main ingredient, in this case, the bitumen. But bitumen and water will never mix on their own,
okay,
unless you force them. I'm talking layman here. Unless you force them. And we force them with certain chemicals we call emulsifiers.
Yeah.
So we add those emulsifiers to the bitumen.
So it can
and then we again pass it through a mill. And then we mill it, and then we get it to we get them to mix and bind. And then it stays in that mixed form. It doesn't separate bitumen down, water up. Again, that one too, we have several grades of the emulsions, which we do. These emulsions are handled cold. You can just spread them on the road. When there are potholes, you see people moving with drums and with some quote and unquote coal tar, and then chippings, and then they mix it. So that is one form of using the emulsions. In the past, what was done was use of kerosene to mix with the bitumen to make it soft so that it can flow. Now, by doing that, we are damaging the environment. If you live in an area where they have used kerosene to do a road, for the next 1 week to 2 weeks, the people in that area will always complain of, the
smell,
the smell of the kerosene and things like that. That problem is solved by the use of our emulsions. Yeah.
Well, do you want to add on, Engineer Okai, in terms of ensuring international standards?
Yes, I want to just add something to the emulsions that you're saying. Because it's handled cold, we save a lot of energy in using those emulsions, and then it is environmentally friendly. Like I said, you mix kerosene former times with bitumen, we get what we call cutbacks. You spread it on the road, the kerosene evaporates into the atmosphere. We are actually polluting the environment. With the emulsions, we don't have anything like that. We just have to use it, and then we handle it very cold.
Are there specific regulatory bodies or internal protocols that actually help to verify these product quality?
Yes, we have the Ghana Standards Authority, the Ghana Highway Authority, and recently the National Petroleum Authority have also indicated that they are coming into the picture and they are going to regulate the use of bitumen, bringing in bitumen, the right quality and then standards. So they are going to collaborate with the Ghana Standards Authority, and then even the SEPs also are going to come in. Ghana Highway Authority will also be involved in regulating the kind of bitumen that come into the country. And I think that is the way to go, because seriously, there are a lot of bitumen of low quality that comes into the country. So once these regulatory bodies are on, I'm sure we'll be able to get very good quality bitumen coming into the country.
And talking about low quality, and I've listened to all that you've been saying about, especially your polymer modified bitumen. I want us to talk about duration and performance. What advantage has your bitumen, GOB's bitumen, what do you have over your other competitors?
Okay, let me take that. You see, with the ones I mentioned first, AC10, AC20, everybody uses that, and then we don't have any kind of advantage over any. But then the polymer modified bitumen, for roads that are constructed using, let's say, AC20, the asphalt roads, that has a lifespan of, let me say, 15 years. When you use the polymer modified bitumen, you can extend the life of the road to about 20 years. So that is why we are saying that you have to use the polymer modified bitumen. And I want to point out here also that polymer modified is not new in the country. The road from the Takoradi to Malam, they use polymer modified, but was imported into the country. Now we are producing it here at the GOBitumen plant, and then we are supposed to patronize it so that we'll improve the quality of our roads, have a longer lifespan, durable products, and then our roads will be very, very durable.
Okay.
I wanted to add, you asked a question about the quality. I'm very particular about that. Being a quality person myself. Quality-wise, I can bet you we meet top-notch international standards. As part of the setting up of this place, we went into partnership with one of the topmost companies in the U.S. that deals in these modified petroleum products. And then we came out with our formulation, which we use. And we have world-class laboratory equipment. In fact, if you enter our laboratory, it's world-class. And there is none in the country. Even our regulators cannot boast of the kind of equipment we have.
Tell me about it.
Yes. Yes. Okay. If you can take a tour at the plant one of these days, I would gladly welcome the team to the plant.
Okay.
Yes, where we have the top-notch equipment that we use to run these tests. So at the end of the day, when our technicians come out and certify that the product is good, they mean it is good. Yes.
Okay, so that gives you an edge over your competitors.
That's it.
Right. But in such big productions, we usually will talk about safety, we'll talk about health, we'll talk about environment. At the port is one of the businesses we do. What protocols do you follow in your production to ensure that you reduce or you minimize some of these challenges, environmental challenges? You just keep the environment safe.
Mr. Dongo is in charge of that. So
okay, so Mr. Dongo will address that for me.
Yes, as I said, quality and environmental practice go hand in hand.
Okay.
You cannot practice quality if you are not practicing good environmental standards. The plant, first of all, is built in such a way that there are these self-regulating mechanisms, built in it. Let me start with our burners. The burners, of course, as they burn, they will give out fumes.
Okay.
They have been designed in such a way that there is a recapture of the fumes. So by the time the fumes are really shot out into the environment, there is very little harmful release into the environment. That is one. The second is that for the environment, again, we have a very good drainage network which ends in an water oil interceptor. That interceptor, the purpose of it is to intercept everything that flows in. We scoop out the oil, because fortunately, oil will float over water. So the oil will float into its own compartment, and then the clean water, which is down, would flow into the river body without harming aquatic life.
Right.
Then we scoop out the oil waste, and then it is properly disposed of by the waste disposal companies. Then we come to another aspect of the environment, which is about monitoring. Every 6 months, we monitor the air quality of the place. Every 6 months, we monitor the air quality. If we see that the air quality is deviating from the norm, it tells us that there is something wrong with at least some equipment somewhere, and then we'll trace and get it fixed so that we do not disturb the air quality. And this we do every 6 months. As I speak, processes are in place for the second monitoring of the year in about 2-3 weeks' time. We come to safety. Again, the plant is built with safety in mind. If there is a hazard right now at the plant, by the press of a button, the entire plant is shut.
Okay.
The entire plant is shut. And these bottoms are dotted all over so that you don't have to run a long distance to go and press that button. They are dotted all around. That is one. The other one, too, is that we have a very good firefighting system that is able to fight fire on its own for at least 2 hours. So assuming fire service has a challenge in getting to us, we can fight the fire for 2 hours, and definitely by that time they would have arrived.
That's incredible.
By that time they would have arrived. So that is also there to take care of fires. And it is automated, such that once the thermal cameras, the flame detectors detect that there is a fire, they send a signal to the, to the control room. Then the control triggers the pumps, and the pumps begin fighting the fire. Of course, in safety, we always are mindful of the human factor. So there are signages all over informing everybody of what they are expected to do. And we also ensure that every staff and anybody visiting the plant has the appropriate PPEs to ensure that they are safe.
So that's Mr. Adongo and also Engineer Okai, who's been explaining to me what this GOBitumen, a new product that GOIL introduced some few months ago. And they say it is the best and it increases road durability. It's time now for us to hear from our sponsors. But when we return, we started a conversation on operational processes and safety standards. We'll continue with that conversation because you will agree with me that it's very, very important in the field that we find ourselves. Stay with me. I'm coming right back.
Good energy brings you quality choices with GOIL Super XP. Available in many GOIL stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a GOIL station today and energize your ride with GOIL Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. GOIL Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. GOIL, good energy. Ja, ya, ya.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back to Iron Port. You heard from our sponsors. I must remind you that Iron Port is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA. So before we went on that break, we were talking about keeping the environment safe, because if you're producing bitumen and all of that, you know that it comes with such environmental challenges. Mr. Adongo explained to us that they take safety very seriously. Engineer Okai, I just also want to find out from you what you do in terms of safety. I know that you have dedicated laboratories at the terminal. What's the role of that facility in terms of environmental, making it environmentally friendly, and also making sure that you control operations and then increase the testing process, which is very important, making it rigorous?
Of course. Thank you very much. In our production process, at every step in the process, samples are taken, and then they are also sent to the lab, and then all the specific requirements that we need to meet those standards are checked. If they don't meet the standards, they are returned, or we go through the processes all over again. We always make sure that we meet the quality demanded by the standards, and then we meet it before we pass them out. If we don't meet the standards, we take it back and then rework on them.
Okay.
We don't compromise with that, because for every contractor that comes for a product, it is accompanied by the quality certificate. And they are very, very strict on that. If the quality certificate does not meet the expectations, they will reject the product. And all these things come at a cost. So we take pains to go through the processes, take samples at every point in time, and then we check they meet the standards before they are passed out from the depot.
You say that the PMB is the best, and you say it has increased, or it increases durability. I mean, how does this happen, especially in controlling ratting and road fatigue or fatigue cracking on our roads?
Yes. So like I explained, the quality of the PMB in producing it, the polymers and then the SBS polymer, actually that is the role they play. They make sure that in terms of fatigue, you can withstand it over a period of time. In terms of low temperature cracking, it is actually addressed very well, so that whether there are changes in temperatures today, the temperature is very high, tomorrow it is very low, these polymer modified bitumen are controlled so that low temperature cracking is eliminated.
Okay.
Then fatigue cracking. We have lots of road users with heavy loads plying our roads every now and then. These things are addressed by the polymer modified bitumen, so that those three distress modes are eliminated completely from our pavements.
Has there been challenges so far, Mr. Adongo? It could be anything: financial, operational, regulations. I mean, have you had challenges so far?
Oh, human endeavors, there are always challenges. But before I come to the challenges, let me just talk a little about this quality issue. The plant's own design is such that if we produce, let's say, one grade of the PMB and put in a storage facility, and then it's tested, and it comes out that it hasn't met the specs, the design allows that product to be drawn back through the milling process for whichever ingredient was in short supply to be added, and then it is remilled and sent back. That's the kind of design we have. So it is, maybe I would say, a 360 design. Even with that one, if by mistake the thing gets out and the customer says that, no, it doesn't meet my product, we still have a way of taking it back.
How?
The design is such that we have a place where we can receive that product back into the system and remill. So that is how solid the design is.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, coming to the challenges, yes, we have them. There are several. I'll mention some. I'm sure Alfonso will add others. First of all, let me even start from the little one. By the time we finished constructing the plant, and then we enhanced the road to the place, that encouraged other people to also come along, including our friends GPHA. They put up a terminal, a truck terminal nearby. And you know our drivers, they can be very, very, very difficult.
Yep.
So that is one challenge that we have. Fortunately, we are working with the port security in that direction to ensure that there is proper management of the traffic along that road. That's one challenge. Another challenge that we face has to do with the congestion of the jetty.
Okay.
You bring in the products and the jetty is congested because there are other petroleum products that are being received. And if you are not lucky, the vessel can stay long, and that makes us incur demurrage. So that is another area that really worries us in terms of operational factors. I guess Alfonso.
Engineer, you want to add on?
Oh, yes, just a little. Still on operational. You know, I mentioned the pipeline that we constructed from the jetty to our terminal. It's supposed to be electrically heated. Now, we have this pipeline, we have cables that run over the pipelines, lagging materials, and then the external is with aluminum sheets. We always have, I would say, people vandalizing the line. They will take off the aluminum sheets and then even get to the cables and then be cutting them. We don't know what for. But then that is a major challenge that we have, because once those things are damaged, we are unable to hit the pipeline, and if the product gets kicked in the pipeline, the vessel will not be able to pump the product to the facility, and then it will be dead. So every time we have security patrolling the line, but that is even not enough. One way or the other, we get portions of the lines being vandalized at any point in time. Can I add a little finance problem?
Of course, it's important.
Yes. Yeah. The first one is actually, it has to do with paying our suppliers.
Okay.
We are most at times unable to get dollars, even if we have the cities, to pay our suppliers. So that is one major challenge that we face. Quite apart from that, payment from contractors also is a very big deal. We are not able to get payment regularly, or the contractors are not paid regularly, so they are also unable to come purchase the product, because once they purchase, they need to pay. So those are some of the financial challenges we are facing.
In terms, okay, you want to add on?
Yes, I thought he would talk about the electricity challenge that we also face.
Okay.
Lots of fluctuations happen. Recently, it has kind of stabilized. But at the beginning, we had lots of fluctuations that were damaging our equipment. Even though the plant is designed in such a way that it can withstand some of these shocks.
That shocks.
But when the shocks are too heavy, a component will have to be sacrificed. Of course, that's part of the design.
Yeah.
A component will have to be sacrificed in order to save the rest of the plant. And we've had such issues where, a component was damaged and we had to spend well over $20,000 just to purchase. That was just the purchase cost alone. Now you talk of the freight and then the duty clearance and all that, and even the time lost in production. So that is also a major challenge that we face at the place in terms of electricity being not just being available, but being stable, because the fluctuation doesn't help. Yes. So
in terms of balancing production needs and also ensuring that you're checking the environment or you're protecting the environment, have you had challenges over there?
So far, no.
Okay.
So far, no.
No challenges
We
yet.
don't have those challenges. As I said, we have put in the rigorous measures to ensure that that doesn't happen. The product itself, it's it flows at 120 degrees Celsius. That's when it begins to flow. But at ambient temperature, that is normal temperature, it is solid. So even where a spill occurs, that spill doesn't go far and then it gets solidified. We just collect it and put in a waste container, and then the waste collecting people will come and take it. So we don't really have a problem in terms of, hazard to the environment. And as I said, so far, the air quality monitoring that we have been doing since the plant's technical commissioning in 2022, we've been doing this every 6 months. And so far, the air quality monitoring has not given us any negative indicator. So environmental-wise, we are good to go.
You are good to go.
Yeah.
In terms of support from government, what kind of support would you need to further boost this business?
Thank you very much. You know one thing, there are contractors who import bitumen into the country themselves. Now, if these contractors import the bitumen and then they want to use it, they are actually exempted from paying VAT. Meanwhile, if they come to our plant to purchase, we have to charge them VAT. So if they compare the two, they think that it is even better for them to bring in the product where they will be exempted from VAT rather than coming to buy from us, which makes our products very expensive. So one very good support we need from the government is to try and then, I would say that take off the VAT elements from the local producers or suppliers so that at least we will be that competitive to supply our customers. So this is one very major help that we will need from
Are
from
there
the government.
specific policies that you need government to put in place in this environment to help this business?
Yeah, so that is one policy, just to allow us not to charge VAT when we sell to the road contractors. Because at the end of the day, they are going to use it in constructing the road, and still it is the country that is going to benefit in the long run. It will make road construction at least cheaper, and then we will all benefit from it.
Are there plans to, you want to add on to that?
Yes, I wanted
Mr.
to add
Adongo?
on to the policies.
Okay.
Even the VAT, for instance, it's not just the output VAT alone, but also the input VAT.
Okay.
That is when the product gets into country. When we are clearing, we pay import VAT, and then we charge output VAT. Now, take it this way. The government is the owner of the roads.
Yep.
The contractors are building the road on behalf of the government. So the government makes the price of the product expensive by some 22, in fact, it's more than 22%, because the input VAT and the output VAT put together, you are increasing the cost of the product that you are using for the road by almost 50%. And then at the end of the day, the contractors are going to pass that cost to the government. So why doesn't the government just take out that? After all, they are the major. I can boldly state that over 90% of bitumen is used for road construction in Ghana. So why won't government just take out those two taxes, make the cost of the bitumen cheaper, and that ultimately makes the cost of constructing the road cheaper? That is one policy. The other policy is the restriction of importation of bitumen, where the government has to be very firm on the type and quality of bitumen that is imported in country. They shouldn't just allow any bitumen to be imported into the country and anybody just gets up and brings any bitumen. There have to be regulatory mechanisms to ensure that people are properly licensed and the bitumen that comes in country actually meets the standards set by the Highways Authority, the Ghana Standards Authority, and the MPA. That is extremely important.
So this
Aisha,
is
just
okay.
let me add
Okay,
to this,
engineer.
and specifically in terms of the policies, we will also wish that once polymer modified bitumen is now being produced in country, and specifically at the GOBitumen plant, if there could be a policy restricting the import of polymer modified bitumen into the country.
Okay.
Because it is being produced here, you can get it here. Why do we have to allow people to import the polymer modified bitumen? It's a very good product. We will also wish that most highways, we cannot do all our highways with polymer modified bitumen though, but specific highways, strategic ones, the government or Ghana Highway Authority recommends that these roads be use polymer modified bitumen in the construction of these highways, and it will go a long way to help the country in the long run.
It will go a long way to help the country in the long run. This is Iron Port, and we are here on Metropolitan Television. Some of your messages are coming in, and I'll encourage you to send more on our WhatsApp line 0538037353, 0538037353. The first message is coming from he's from Spintex. He says that Alfred from Spintex, he said, wonderful initiative by GOIL to get this collaboration in with SMB of La Côte d'Ivoire. These are the type of partnerships that will take industry in Africa to the next level. Kudos, team. And there are more of the messages that I'll be reading with you. But let me ask you, the year is ending. We are entering into another year. What's your plan? Do you have plans of introducing new products into the market? Or, you have plans of also expanding the bitumen operations?
In terms of expansion, I would say that in constructing the plants, we took into consideration that definitely there is going to be a time when the demand for bitumen will increase. So we have actually made plans for expansion so that in the near future, when we see that the demand for bitumen increases, we will quickly go into the construction of other tanks to accommodate the demand for bitumen. As to other products that we want to introduce onto the market, especially for the road construction industry, we will want to stick to the polymer modified bitumen, see how it goes, and then we will take it from there. So as we enter the new year, we rather want to project the polymer modified bitumen, see how it runs in the country, and then we will think of expanding other products.
There's another message coming from Adjoa from Accra. She says, how does this partnership between GOIL and SMB benefit local businesses and industries in both Ghana and La Côte d'Ivoire? You have an answer, engineer? Or Dr. Adongo will handle that for me?
Hey, Aisha, you are conferring the title
it's
doctor on me, eh? Okay,
I'm
I take it.
Okay, Mr. Adongo.
Yes,
you want to handle that?
Yeah, partnership. The benefits of the partnership are in two folds. One, we benefit from getting that is as far as Ghana is concerned, by getting the bitumen right next door.
Okay.
So it makes things faster for us. And then also we are, by that, deepening the African collaboration, which I think our president mentioned at our recent commissioning. So that is a very good venture to do. Now, specific benefit has to do with the fact that once we bring it in, and now we are producing these things, local business people can come and purchase the product, and then like you were asking about expansion or other products, can do so many other things with this bitumen. If you care to know, bitumen can be used in the paint industry, in the built industry. And when I say built, this time I'm talking of houses and things like that.
Okay.
Also, we can use bitumen even in the manufacture of foams and other things. So there we will be expanding the market, and those in those categories will not need to go far away to go and look for their raw material. They can get the raw material right here in Ghana to do their business. Whereas the Ivorians are also benefiting by way of expanding their market in the Ghanaian market.
Okay.
So it's a win-win to both of us.
Okay. Now, Kofi from Cape Coast is also asking this. He says, what measures are in place to ensure this collaboration remains sustainable and impactful for the long term?
Also that there is an agreement that both parties have signed. And I think that it's going to be renewable every 5 years. So at least we are certain that this collaboration is going to be sustained for a very long time to come.
Well, I like to end on this note. I mean, what do you want us to take home? I have heard you speak about durability on our roads. That's what GOBitumen is all about. What do you want me to take home? If I don't go, Engineer Okay.
Yes, take home the quality products that we are offering you. Take home the fact that if we, as Mr. Okai said, if we use the PMB, for instance, on our highways, then we would enjoy the use of our highways for so many years before we think of rehabilitating them. Look at the N1. Kufuor's time, it's over 20 years. The road is still solid. So if we extend that to the rest of the country, we would be doing ourselves a lot of good. So take home quality, take home the durability, and take home reliable supply.
Engineer, can you want to add on?
We are also very price competitive. You visit our plant and the price that we offer is very, very competitive. The location of our plant is also very convenient and very accessible. And then please know that our plant is one of a kind in the whole of the West Africa.
I'm grateful, gentlemen, for your time this evening. Engineer Alfonso Okain Jr. is the Managing Director of GOBitumen Limited, and Anyayuri LJ Adongo is the Terminal Manager of GOBitumen Limited and ABAT. Thank you so much for coming. Let me thank you, viewers, also for watching this program, and our sponsors who made this happen. Again, the Ghana Revenue Authority, GOL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. The show always is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Remember to watch the abridged version of Iron Port on Wednesday on GTV. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.